There is just so much evidence, extensive evidence, he says, quote unquote, extensive evidence that they apparently submitted to me, which you guys know they didn't, which disproved the idea that Brigitte was a man. And of course, Tom Claire is lying. We wrote to them that she's definitely a woman. And it's implausible that she's not. So we totally got this thing. We're totally going to win because we have asserted that it's implausible that Brigitte was born a man, and totally trust us, bro, that he is being honest. That was their evidence. Their evidence that they presented to us as we presented to the public was trust me, bro. Trust us, bro. She's not a bro. It's incredible.
They actually already did directly send proof to Candace, said pictures, childhood pictures of Brigitte. They did send evidence of Brigitte's biological motherhood of 3 children. They did send pictures of her first, of her wedding when she was young. And there already is sworn testimony, for example, from the children and from the, I don't know if sworn testimony, but the previous husband. So she's now moving goalposts and saying, take a blood test. They did also, by the way, send the birth announcement, not a certificate, but an announcement. So newspaper.
Oh, Lord. Okay. No, we're going to come back to you, Stephen. We're going to come back to you. Don't worry, buddy. Yeah, Candace is, Candace is actually cooked. You know, according to Candace, her downfall, if it were to ever happen, which it wouldn't because she is an incredible human being, honest, genuine, and she's just seeking the truth. But if she were to fall from grace, this would happen because obviously of the Jew or a Jew, right? The Jew, the Jews, or just one individual Jew specifically. In reality land, the reason why Candace will fall from quote unquote grace is because of her own overinflated ego. It is her inability to see beyond her own damn belly button, to see beyond herself. Candace is the sort of individual who will lie to herself, then lie to her audience, and create an entire series based upon that lie, whilst all the while confirming it to be reality, to be truth. These are symptomatic elements of malignant narcissism. And I have done a deep enough dive in this individual here to understand that what she demonstrates on nearly a weekly basis, personality-wise, is aligned with genuine narcissism. I'm not talking about, all my exes and narcs because, we didn't work out or whatever it was. I'm talking about genuine, like the 3 to 5% that's talked about in psychology of genuine, true, malignant, dangerous narcissist. The type of person who can not just lie to you, but they're lying to themselves. Therefore, they believe the thing to be truth. And nothing will stop them in the pursuit of that. Candace Owens, and I said this before when I first touched base as far as this lawsuit that she has been readily delivered by Macron or the Macrons and their legal team. A 200 and some odd page document, actually, that I believe she actually hasn't read through. She did a video as soon as she got the damn thing. I don't believe she actually read through that. Maybe her lawyers or, her sources, which is just probably Candace Owens. But I don't believe that she has read through that thing or if her own sense of self is so inflated to the point where she will read exactly why this is happening and still not be able to conceptualize. Because again, in the mind of a narcissist, they can't understand why anybody would be against them. They have bought into the concept, the image of who they are, and not the reality of who they are. That's why they're so easily able to lie, able to manipulate. Unlike just a genuine psychopath, psychopathy, who can lie to your face and has mastered that and is mimicking emotions for the sake of that. The narcissist is actually suffering from a shame-based disorder. So they have created an image of who they are. They've created a persona per se. And so they hide behind that persona. And everybody else, her audience, the cult of Candace Owens, as I like to call them, They are narcissistic supply. I know we're getting real psych today, but we're going to bring it back full circle with what is currently taking place in current events today. So Steven Crowder he's been real good on this one, right? He's somebody I am, back and forth with. Some things I'm all the way there. There were times in my life when I was tuned in, and, as of recent, not necessarily, mostly just because I've been tuned into creating, and, the content that I do is oftentimes geared towards, doing what we do here. But anyway, he's been doing his due diligence when it comes to Candace as well. And I guess they had a little bit of a fallout themselves, where Candace was doing more of her creating her own realities, i.e. lying about a case that Steven Crowder was involved in. A case that was, I believe it was dismissed or whatever, because there was no factual evidence to support it. But Candace was pushing this conspiracy as per usual, because she knows all things. She has the answer to everything. And, typical narcissistic behavior. And again, I'm not using the word just to use it. I use it now sparingly because I understand that it can just be watered down. Like if you look into the relationship between the narcissist and conspiracy theories, not only the believing in them, but also the use of those conspiracies in order to manipulate people's minds or to get people to think a certain way in order to get narcissistic supply. It's deep, folks. It's real, real deep. Right. I know we would like it to be surface level and just say, oh, she's so dumb or whatever it is. And it's like, yeah, there's, elements of her not being the brightest bulb as much as I once believed her to be. When you are, again, in La La Land, or when you are somebody who believes yourself to be so deep or whatever, Candace seems actually like really intelligent to a person like that. But once you start to actually mature and develop and think for yourself and research and do things of that nature, you start to realize that it's kind of like, she's kind of like, what would I compare it to? She's like Bill Nye, in like a scientific term, right? It's like what the kids would consume, like kid intellect. She's the kid's philosopher. And then you continue to mature, and then you get to a place where you can no longer stand it because it is like adolescent at its core. And I'm not looking to insult the cult of Candace, but, take that as you may. If you're able to continue to listen to this person espouse these things, and her sources are, a person told me, my sources tell me, emails that you're receiving from random people. I mean, she was accusing people like myself and other small creators of being paid, right? And she put this out herself. She said, I would pay $10,000, or me and my sponsor pay $10,000, to the people who are being paid, because I know this for a fact. I received information from my sources that people are being paid $1,000 for every single, video, whatever it was, $1,000, and she's going to pay 10. Then all of a sudden that kind of evaporated, right? She claimed that there was some 80-something-year-old rabbi who was paying pastors in Bitcoin in order to smear her name. Because she can't fathom in her head to say, wait, maybe, just maybe, people are saying this for free because it's true. That can't run through a narcissist. No, she has an image that she's created. I am this image. I am the purveyor of truth. I am truth. So all of this has to be the lie. It has to be the deception. Sure enough, it can't be. And anybody who agrees with me, they are part of that truth. She can't fathom for the life of her. But anyway, that kind of dissipated, floated into the mere abyss. And now, of course, individuals like myself every day are targeted by individuals, or not targeted, but, people are talking about how we're being paid, etc. Right? We're Mossad. So she has made these series off of hearsay. And now she's found herself in a place, I believe, one of many. And I think that the lawsuits are just getting started. I was having this conversation with my lady, and I said, it's actually about to get messy. It's about to get real ugly because, she has genuine blood libel on her hands. And just because, this is to the cult of Candace now, just because she tells you that what she's saying is not blood libel, doesn't not make it that. There's still this denial that there is actual, at least disdain for Jews or Israel, whatever it may be. Just because she says, I'm just asking questions, doesn't mean that the things she is saying in 80% of her rhetoric is dismissed. That's not how that works. But again, if you are somebody who is a worshiper of this individual or another individual, then it's going to be impossible for you to break free from that cult ideology until you come to that conclusion yourself. Like, nobody can truly shake you out of that. They can only help to plant seeds or, breadcrumbs along your way or whatever. But anyway, told you I was going to get back into Crowder and bring it back into the context of this case. But, again, it is much bigger than just the scandal of the day and scandal of the time. And that's something that I do my best to at least get across to y'all. So again,
bro, trust us, bro. She's not a bro. It's incredible.
They actually already did directly send.
It was born a man, and totally trust us, bro, that he is being honest.
So yeah, they sent her paperwork. Even I believe during one of the episodes, she was reading out some sort of paperwork that was sent to her or whatever it was. She was contacted. Some people saying, well, why now? Why now? Because a year ago, she starts the thing. She's communicated with. She keeps going. She insults the people, whatever it is, right? She is bought into her delusion, and it is getting her the narcissistic supply she needs from her audience. The feedback loop is there. So she continues to feed the beast, feed the beast, feed the beast. She's listening to the cheers of the crowd, right? She wanted to compare herself to the gladiator or whatever. So she's in that arena. The crowd is yelling destroy them. And she'll keep going, not considering reality. And the reality is what an Alex Jones is now living under, which is an almost $1 billion debt because of the things that he was unwilling to question because he was so far gone down his own rabbit hole. Whether you believe him to be right or not, in the court of law, he was not. And so that's the reality. But yeah.
That was their evidence. Their evidence that they presented to us as we presented to the public was, trust me, bro. Trust us, bro. She's not a bro. It's incredible.
They actually already did directly send proof to Candace. Said pictures, childhood pictures of Brigitte. They did send evidence of Brigitte's biological motherhood of 3 children. They did send pictures of her first, of her wedding when she was young. And there already is sworn testimony, for example, from the children and from the, I don't know if it's sworn testimony, but the previous husband. So she's now moving goalposts and saying, take a blood test. They did also, by the way, send the birth announcement, not a certificate, but an announcement. So newspaper clippings, pictures, sworn testimony, evidence, and this has all been provided to her for a long time.
Your clients did not present any evidence other than, trust me, bro, she's not a bro. To the contrary.
And I feel this is something that hasn't been fully just addressed yet, because we talk about misinformation, disinformation, and all these sorts of things, conspiracy minded is, her religious beliefs and how she's given over to this, sect of Catholicism that has all these beliefs sprinkled in. And beyond all of that, just plain old lying, like right there, what y'all saw, right? She claimed that she got nothing. And that was a recent clip. She received nothing but trust me, bro. That's almost a gaslighting of sort, right? With a smidget of projection in there, because the trust me, bro is actually Candace Owens. If you really think about it, who is the individual talking about some trust me, bro? Where has the evidence? I'm not talking about your cutesy little articles. I'm not talking about, one of her sources for this entire Brigitte situation was a man who is considered as a medium. This is a Christian woman consulting in a medium per se for the information that he put out into the world, as well as 2 of these journalists who wrote up on this issue, etc., extensively in Europe. I believe one of them was French, if not both. So that's her sources, right? These people who did the thing before. In a case like this, where you are claiming that this is a dude, the proof that you need, and you need to have the proof. If you're the one who is, creating these claims, or you're pushing this narrative, you need to come up with the proof. The burden of responsibility, the burden of proof is actually not on the accused. It is on the accuser. You need to bring the paperwork. So again, some folks will get bamboozled in 8 hours of content. Some folks will get bamboozled in 20 seconds of a conversation because they want to believe conspiracy. They want to believe something that is, more grand than what may be. In some cases, it might be accurate. But in this sort of case, all we need is for you to present the actual evidence. So again, as Stephen was saying, she keeps pushing the goalpost because, at first she's like, where are the images? And it's like, here's the images. Then she says, well, no, that's her brother. And then turns out that it's not the brother. And, this is at a time where you didn't have Photoshop, whatever it was. So here you have, whether it's printouts or whatever it is of her and her brother together, multitude of images. I mean, you have publications, you have birth certificates, you have hospital documents, all being shared with Queen Candace. None of them will satisfy because it's not the narrative. And that's when you have built around a lie, the only thing you can do is to uphold that lie until it falls apart. And the unfortunate part is, and I already see this, I look into the future and this is what I see. I see that there is going to be a percentage of people who lose trust, who fall out and realize they've been bamboozled and will start to question all of us, as you should. And then there's going to be a majority who continue to defend their queen. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
Aquarius. Where? I've been up for hours, I've been up for days, staring at the ceiling, I've been counting strays, I've been in my feelings, I've been out of mind, I've been getting visions of the other kind, I've been up for weeks, I'm in the counting blessings over counting sheep, I can never be the type to limit when it comes to me, I used to be the pleaser for the people, I ain't